What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. So we've had the Tempest class, we've had the new Paragon system now for about 24 hours. All of you most likely have gotten your hands on it, and what I've heard, well, I've heard a lot of things from the community, both good and bad. What I want to do inside of this video today is kind of talk about my experience overall so far, from testing it over at Blizzard a month ago to now. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the things brought up by the community, some pain points, some positive things. I'm going to then also show you the Paragon system and my quick tips on the Paragon system, the build that I'm currently using for the Tempest, which is just something that I've thrown together and been enjoying. And I even got myself a gift from Blizzard yesterday, which I will show you at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around until the very end. I'm going to try and go through these and not dwell on them for too long so we can get all the information in a video that's not a half an hour long. First things first, the new cosmetic, the Polar Kraken skin. As you can see, this is coming on 8 different classes. People have been having issues though. I've heard it from multiple people. I have not purchased this myself, and I will not be purchasing this one myself, but it has been not transferring to the other classes for some users. I'm sure that it's just for a small number of users, but to be honest with you, I am not 100% sure on that. But let me know in the comments below if you've purchased this skin, if it's not converting and transferring over to your other classes as well. I want to make sure that no one is spending the money on that and then not getting it across. With that being said, being that it is supposed to be on all classes, I'm sure that would be something that would be fixed very quickly inside of the game. Next thing I want to get into is actually something that we saw over on Reddit, which is this details here, which takes me through another few talking points. I feel kind of like this update is mostly for new players. Now, when we look at the Paragon system, when we look at how the upgrade crunch has gone, a lot of people will feel the same way. 1, new class. 2, Paragon looks confusing, but is secretly simple mode, which is true. 1,000 Paragon levels, a bunch of difficulties and raid bosses. I mean, I don't hate it. I just don't feel like there's any content than the new class. That is true. The new class is the biggest piece of content that came here, and then a lot of other changes. I think there are a lot of game systems and daily caps that need to be streamlined, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. I don't know. I'm finding the game very boring for the past month or so, and while the new class looks cool, I just don't have any interest in figuring it out when all the core gameplay is unchanged. Fair point. I will say though, something that I've found as a player, when you start getting bored or things start getting dull, part of the fun is trying out a new class, trying to put some new builds together. But you do get in a comfort zone with your class. I was the Crusader. I could hop back on the Crusader. I know everything I'm doing. My build is there, and I could just play through the game mindlessly. Having a new class is something that's kind of fun and makes you have to relearn, re-strategize, rethink about things. Also, I don't love that you can't focus on secondary stats in the Paragon trees anymore. There's no decisions after you pick the skills you're going to use. Every single node is identical at that point. All numbers go up equal good. Kind of boring, I don't know. Now, a lot of the feedback that we got from this as well, and a lot of the people that responded, it was split. There's a lot of things that people agree with here, and there's a lot of people, particularly newer players, that find these changes quite interesting and they actually like it. A lot of people also saying things regarding the Heliquary bosses. I actually missed my Heliquary raids last night. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't pinged either, so I completely forgot about them, so I didn't get to experience them with the new class. But people are saying that the Heliquary bosses, the Inferno 6 Heliquary version of things now at Hell 3 is just too easy. And endgame players are not having that difficulty level that they're looking for inside of the game, at least when it comes to Heliquary and probably some of the other endgame activities as well. So we do have, though, another level coming soon, so it's going to most likely be the Hell 4 difficulty, but still, we can't get out of this difficulty level until essentially Paragon 400. That's when we're going to be able to jump out. So we are 100 Paragon levels away from that. What this is doing is it's giving people, some of the newer players that are joining and some of the people that are possibly behind in combat rating and levels, some time to catch up to some of the other players. And when you think about what they did with the whole Paragon system, they took us from 1,000, almost 1,400 Paragon, crunched us down to server Paragon level of 270, essentially giving people that were starting the game or that were newer players a few months in, the ability to catch themselves up. It was an advantage for those players so that they weren't thousands or hundreds of Paragon levels behind, because now we're still gaining 10 levels per week. So that the progression hasn't changed. They just took away about 1,000 levels from us so that we could have those other players catch up. I don't hate it. It really doesn't matter to me. And honestly, I didn't get to try the Heliquary, so I can't comment on that. But I honestly don't mind the difficulty change or the crunch or any of that stuff. It doesn't personally bother me. Other players have been talking about the damage that their Tempest has been doing. They've been saying that when they come on over here, they test out their build, and after they test it the next day or a few hours later, and the build was doing less damage. Same build doing significantly less damage. So something that I would urge all of you to do is head on over to the training grounds and test out your build. What is it actually looking like? What is it doing? Is it doing the same amount of damage that it was before? I know nothing of any, I know nothing. It's so hard to stay on this dummy with this build that I'm using. It's difficult to tell and compare to a different class. So I can't compare this training dummy to what I was doing with the Crusader. Just a different class, different builds. That one was more built out. But it's difficult to tell, and we do know that Blizzard did not, or we don't know, I guess, if Blizzard put out a little patch on the Tempest. I haven't heard of anything. Nothing came through that I know of regarding a nerf coming to damage on the Tempest. A lot of people are saying that the Tempest is going to be the next best thing in PvP because of the mobility and speed that it has. We're going to see a lot of those high skill players utilizing the Tempest over in PvP, or at least testing it out to see how it goes. Maybe something that'll be able to fight along with the Demon Hunter in PvP. We're going to have to see. So I want to take you guys so far just through what I learned very quickly with the Paragon trees. They're actually quite easy to understand, and I think it's important that you guys get it as well. First of all, it costs 60 Paragon points to completely fill up one of the trees. You could choose one tree at a time. I chose Vanquisher right now because I'm using all of these skills right here for when I'm doing my open world farming. Then we have Gladiator, which I found to be good for. This one was good for PvP. Survivor's good for things like Heliquary and things like that. Then we have Brawler and Slinger, which I'm still figuring out on how I want to use them. Remember, you could choose 5 skills from one tree on the left-hand side. So when I'm doing my open world stuff, I'm going to be up in Vanquisher and choosing these skills. When I'm doing any PvP, I'm going to come over and have a build in Gladiator. When I do my Heliquary raids, I'm going to have something over here in Survivor. As you upgrade these nodes, when you get another node and you want to fill it up with another 4 points, keep in mind, it doesn't just cost 1 Paragon point to upgrade each of these skills. It costs 4, these ones cost 4, and these ones cost 4. So every time you get a Paragon level, you can't come in and upgrade them right away. But as I mentioned, 60 total. So once I get to Paragon 300, I'll be able to finish up this Paragon tree, and then we will most likely see this one coming soon, which from the footage that we saw, I do believe is going to be a speed or mobility one. That was something that I had in my live stream footage that was not removed. So it could be seen there. I'm not sure, but I think that's probably what we're going to be seeing over here. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it would be kind of cool. This was basically built so that it's easier for people to utilize. Once you figure it out, it's very easy to manage. The problem is the attributes, they go up every time you fill in a node across the board, even if it's on a tree you're not using. So when I start to fill out these ones over here, when I add over here, I'm going to gain these attributes onto my total across the board. It is standard across the board. There is no picking and choosing if you get more armor penetration, or maybe you want more potency and less resistance and less armor. Those things are no more. Everyone who's at the same Paragon level and who has spent the same Paragon points has the same bonus attributes. And your bonus attributes will add up onto your total bonus, even with trees that you don't have active. It is just how they are spent. So having an active tree has nothing to do with the attributes that you've accumulated. It's just about the spend of your Paragon points. You can reset everything. They're very easy to put together. It's definitely a simplified system for sure. Now let's actually go to the frozen tundra, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what I got going on with my build right now. It's a good open world build. I was doing my bounties. I was doing some farming, trying to get more essences yesterday, and we just kind of were messing around with this build, and it's kind of fun. What I have right here is, let's actually let's get a few things going. I got a mixture of mobility, and I have a mixture of mobility and let me get it for you here. Mobility and like good open world AoE damage. We're using Wave Edge, Rolling Surf for the mobility. We have Vortex, Crosswinds, and Breaker, all with a couple of essences that we're going with here as well. So let's take a look at how this works. I can crosswind myself around. We could do all this. You know, slide yourself around, attack while you're sliding around. It's a great part of this. I actually really like it. Then we also have this right here, which is going to just drop these water explosions all around. So if you want to go farm an area, I can target anything that's near me. So let me wait for that to come up again here. Boom, I'm just gonna pop that. Look at this. I could stand in the center and it's just killing everything in that circle around me. Really powerful and really great for farming. And by the way, there is another legendary. We'll take that. Then we have this right here, which essentially turns into like a whirlwind. Check that out. And it spins my Zephyrs as well. Notice my Zephyrs are spinning. So it's a nice way to do a lot of AoE damage. You can come tear through things. And it reminds me, well, it's going to remind a lot of us very much of the Barbarian. With that being said, it also has the Zephyrs that spin as well. So you can get that spinning damage from different areas. We're going to make our way to another area right now. And we do have one more skill that we're using also. Let's get some enemies around us and we can take a look at what that one does. So we'll whirlwind, although that's not what it's called. And then we can come over here and we have our dash. I particularly like the dash when I use it on mobile. It's just a drag and push into the right area. But it's a nice way to add some mobility and damage as you're cutting through. Notice all the damage we did as we just cut through those enemies. Is that the best thing for open world farming? Maybe not, but it's good to have some mobility. I like just to have it. Again, open world farming is easy. You don't need anything particularly crazy. And again, this is an initial build. This isn't something that I'm probably going to be using in a month from now. We do not have all of the essences unlocked, but we do have a good number of them. And this is a build that's been working pretty good for me. Specifically, this skill right here that is just going to drop those explosions everywhere and just allow everything to go down with me passively walking through. That's a great thing when you're farming so that you could have minimal effort farms. So I think that was everything that I had besides sharing with you the gift that I got from Blizzard just yesterday. So first things first, got myself this nice thank you for your continued partnership. Nice little card there, which came in this little sack with a nice pin. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. Oh, it's a cool looking pin. There we go. I don't know, maybe I'll give that to my son for his pin board. Got ourselves a nice Diablo partner water bottle, which is awesome. Always good to have a nice water bottle. This one looks to be really nicely insulated as well. You know, for me, we got this Diablo partner, what is this called? I know it's a coffee thing. Tumbler? Is it called a tumbler? I don't know, but this is really nice, super heavy. I like it because it's black. And if you've been observant, you may have noticed in the background, got myself this nice jacket. Diablo partner, and it's customized with the name on the sleeve. Let's see if I can get a good look at that for you guys. Boom. Echo on the sleeve. You gotta try it on. And it's got that emblem in the front as well. Also, these are all like super nice. So for those nice chilly days, I'm ready to go. We have our brand, partner emblem, and Echo on the sleeve. Thank you, Blizzard. And of course on the back, Diablo partner. I always appreciate these kind of things. Thank you, Blizzard, so much for it. Hope you guys have been enjoying the Tempest so far. Let me know some of the things that you may like or not like about the class so far in your experience, and maybe we could talk about that again. Appreciate all you guys coming through the live stream, and maybe we'll have another one of those very soon, because I have about 100 legendary crests that I need to run, and I'm going to be running them on a live stream. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when we do that big event.